All right, so I said in the video I was using the 1 minute. I'm actually using the 15-second as my crossover point. Okay, so and I'm going to show you all my settings. So here's my 5 minute zone, right? Don't care about this, but I just want the line showing. So I have the byline deselected, cell line deselected. Hold on, you can see. Okay, so byline select deselected, cell line deselected. The rest of them don't really matter. I have 5 minutes selected on scalping mode, right? I have my intervals turned on, whatever. I don't have background on. I'm not using the background. And I have color. It doesn't matter about the candles because we're hiding the candles. So basically, what, a 5 minute zone, and then we don't have our fills showed. Okay, so you have those turned off, and then DOR is turned off, and then that's it for that one. And then we go to the second one, which is my 15-second scalping zone, and then I have the same thing. I have those all turned off except for the 50% line. I want to see the middle line only. That's all I want to see. I just want to see the lines crossing. And then I have the DOR turned off and all that stuff. And then I have the daily intraday day open, and I just don't have the lines turned on, but I have the fills turned on, okay? So they can see the zone, and that's the daily day open session start. Those are the two settings that matter, intraday and day open. I don't have background on, and I do have a beacon line turned on. Then I have the 9:30 a.m. zone right here on intraday settings. Those are the only two that matter. Again, I don't have these lines showing. If you want them showing, whatever. But and then I do want to see the fill lines. So that is it for the settings. And I'm on a 5-second chart. It really doesn't really matter what chart you're on, because it's basically the zones are based off of the time frame that you're selecting. But I have it on there anyways because this is just 5 and 15 seconds is the candles I use to enter. But anyway, so that is the settings. All right, we're going to do some back testing. We're going to be doing the 1 minute zone crossing the 5 minute zone. We're going to use the daily zone and the 9:30 zone as our trend influence, our bias. So here's our daily zone, the green, the yellow, and here's our 9:30 zone, okay, with our beacon line. Now here comes our 5 minute line, which is our zone. We just don't have the color. We don't have the zone filled in. Okay, so it's just the midline because we're just doing the midline cross. And then here's our 1 minute inside of the candle right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the candles off. Here's our 9:30 line right here. And the rules are, if we're below the daily and we're below the 9:30 and the beacon line is red, then we're going to sell when the 1 minute crosses through the 5 minute down. So this right here, this is our 9:30 right here, right? So this line is 9:30 where this is created. And here's our 1 minute, and it has crossed through the 5 minute, which is blue. And we're below our 9:30 zone and we're below our 10 zone. So this would be a sell right there. Our stop loss is going on the beacon line. And we close the trade when the white comes back up through the blue. So the trade is closing right there. So there's our first trade, 9:30 right on the dot, a 12.31 risk to reward with 320 ticks. All right. So now let's find ourselves another entry. So we're still below. So we're bearish. We're not wanting to do any buying right now. So this crosses back down, but it doesn't count because the beacon line is green. This crosses back down. It does count because it meets all our conditions. We're below the daily. We're below 9:30 pretty much. And our beacon line is red. So, and our cross through is right here. That's where the candle closed, or the cross through happened. So what do we want to do? We want to close when this comes back up through it. So this was just a scalp. Our stop loss was right there. And this was a 1.23 with 59 ticks. Right? So we're looking for another one. Okay, so this cross through, we could take it, but it's going to be, I don't know if we should, because this was green as it crossed through, right? So we're being picky here. Now we can relax the rules a little if we get a red at the close of the cross through, and the close is right here, and this turned red at the same time, right? Now we could take that, but that isn't really following the rules. It didn't cross through while this was red, so we're not going to take it. Now, this one, our beacon line is red, and this one is crossing through right here. So this is following the rules. So we are going to take this, right? And our stop loss is going to go at the beacon line where it was at when it crossed. And then we're going to close this trade when it comes back up through the beacon line, which is right here. Right? So that's going to give us a 3.11 with 246 ticks, right? And that is at before 10 o'clock. And we are looking for more entries. So this one meets the rules. No, it doesn't, because we want to be below beacon line. We want to be below the that's what's going to stop you from getting into these pullbacks like this, is you want to be below the beacon line. This is not below it. So the beacon line is below price. So we want to be up here, like this one is up above. This is not up above. We do not take that signal. All right, so here we go. We get a cross through, but it's, well, it turned red at the same time. Some could argue that didn't. Yeah, see, here's the line right here. Let's look. And it crossed through right there. I would take that. I would take that. So let's go ahead and enter that one. And then our stop loss goes at the beacon line. And we are exiting. Well, that didn't cross up through. It just kept coming down. Well, it did right here. So here, and it's the same. It's just about the same. So right there would be about our exit. So this is 99 ticks with a 2.02 risk to reward. Okay. We were still in this trade up until this point. So unless you were adding in, you wouldn't even have got into this one here. Now, look at we're again, like when this comes slamming back through, I guess. No, when it crossed through the beacon line, the 5-minute blue, we're below, we're above the beacon line. So you want the beacon line to be above you, above your price when it comes back through. So we would not take this signal. Now we're not taking any buys. See, now the beacon line is above everything. So that's the only ones you want to take. So this crosses through. Well, this is a perfect entry. This is like a no-brainer. Get into this. Stop loss again is going at the beacon line. And this went and met the 5, but it came back down. It did not go up. So this is not a close. All right. Where is our close? Our close is going to be, well, that sucks. Right there. It's going to be right there. And you know what? That's just part of the game. Like, that's just part of the game. Yeah, that would be our close. So we would get 3.1 with 0.69 risk to reward because it retraced back up. Some people have argued that you should close when it crosses up through the beacon line like this, but look at it, crossed up through the beacon line right there too. So it's just stuff like this going to happen. Like, we're going to get retracements and it's just going to happen. So this one is a valid entry. So we would take this. Our stop loss is at the beacon line, and this would end up being our, we would end up closing this immediately. Look at this, comes up back through it on our entry. So we would basically be closing this right there. So wherever, let's see, let's be fair about this. Right about there. So you would lose a couple two ticks on this. More likely, probably 5 ticks. As you notice it and you close. So there's our first loss for Thursday using this system. Okay, again, this doesn't come down through. It doesn't come down through. This comes down through right here. And this is a valid entry. So we would take this entry. And again, our stop loss is going at the beacon line. This is our first one that we really went into any drawdown. It did not cross back. Oh, wait, it crossed back up right here. So we would close this trade at a loss right there. Okay, so we're closing 38 ticks at a loss. All right. And then immediately we would see a re-entry and we would get right back in. And our stop loss is going to the beacon line right there, right? And then we're getting out as it crosses back up through the 5 minutes. So right here is the close of that one. You can tell where it, well, your mouse, your little line will click with it. So click, click, click right there. So yeah, that's right. So we got a 9.25 with 185 in ticks on this one. And then right now we're at 10:30 in the morning. Honestly, I would be done trading by now, but you know, not everybody's going to do that. But let's just go with what I would do because you know I'm backtesting. So I would be done by that period of this many ticks. So we're gonna add up how many ticks we actually ended up winning using this system on Thursday. So that would be 320 plus 59 plus 246. And I messed up the count. Oh my God. Okay, let's try this one more time. 320 plus 59 plus 246 plus 99 plus 31 plus 185. I already had hit the plus button, so I gotta do this one. Minus 40. Oh no, 38. Yeah, and then we're at 10:30, so we're pretty much done for the day. It's the goal of trading, right? Is to not work all day. So there's 898 ticks that would have won using that system on Thursday. And I've been doing 2 or 3 contracts, so we'll just go with 2. So this would have been an $8,000 day doing this like this. If you want access to this system or to join the Hunters Club and trade live with us every day, go to breakouthunter.com and click on First Light Beacon for the standalone, or join the Hunters Club by clicking on the Hunters Club.